welcome back. Thank you for joining us. My name is Melinda, and this is my sister guest appearance, Michaela, and we're here to tell you all about our wonderful Disney World trip and our review. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. As you know, I have my host here, my sister Michaela, and this is part 2. So if you haven't seen part 1 yet, head on back down to the channel, or I'll leave it up here if I can figure it out so you can see part 1. Part 1 was about how we got to Disney World and all the transportations offering right now at Disney World. This is part 2, and we're going to talk about the parks we went to as well as Disney Springs. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's get started. Then let's talk about the parks. While we were there, we had 2 full days. And so, my sister's laughing at me.
Well, it just didn't even feel like 2 days.
It didn't, did it?
No.
Oh my goodness. It went by so fast.
It
really did. The first full day we made reservations, because don't forget, not only because you have tickets, you have to make a reservation to the parks. We made it to Epcot for the first day, and second day was Animal Kingdom. So what did you think about Epcot?
I think the people in this world who say you can do Epcot in a day are very confused. I think they don't understand what doing Epcot means.
Well, and it's different for everybody.
It is different.
What you do at Epcot is different.
You cannot do the whole park in one day, and especially with the limited hours now. And
when we were there, I was gonna say when we were there, the Epcot was open from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go.
And I'm not sure what time we got there, but
noon.
We were what time?
Noon. We got in at noon. We clocked our magic bands in at noon.
Hours.
Yeah.
And we were literally there for 7 hours. And you have to remember that they only brought back 60% of cast members, so not everything was even open. And we didn't get to see everything, didn't get to do everything. We went on one ride. And I don't know, it was...
Now, the park capacity is 30% right now. And so, of course, like, Norway was completely closed, right?
The gift shop was open. I found that coffee mug.
Oh, that's right. But everything else was closed in Norway.
But all the restaurants, the quick service, the bakery, which kind of made me cry because I was really looking forward to the Norway bakery.
She was. And there was things at each... Yeah. There was things at each country that was closed.
Yes, some were more closed than others. Like Norway, I would say, was probably the most closed.
The most closed, I agree.
If you went to Mexico, it looked like Mexico was all the way open. I mean,
it did look that way, but we didn't go in everything. And see, like the French Pavilion too looked that way, but there was restaurants that were closed there.
Yes, and there were also, like their gift store at the French was closed too.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was.
But we did go in Mexico. Remember, we were in that dark. Yeah.
I almost called it a pyramid.
It was like a tomb. I don't know what it is, but it probably was. It was probably the Mayan temple.
Thank you. That's what it was. Temple.
Thank you. Yeah, like
thank you.
What it was.
That's what I was going for. I'm like, not pyramid. Temple. Yes.
Like I couldn't remember. Yes. But yeah, and so that
we did go in that.
And then when we were leaving, we got a little misdirected by people who thought the monorail was open and it wasn't, which is fine, I guess.
Yeah, hold on. She's talking about at the end of the day when we're leaving the park. Okay, go.
Mm-hmm. So when we were leaving, we were walking to the exit so we could get on the monorail, and that's when we realized how much of Epcot we really hadn't even seen yet. We made around the whole World Showcase loop.
Yeah, we made it around the different country loop. Mm-hmm. We came in through the Skyliner entrance because we took a bus from Disney Springs to Boardwalk and then we walked in. So we actually started the loop at United Kingdom.
Yes.
And then we walked towards Mexico, right? We went around that way, but we started at United Kingdom. Okay, go.
Yeah, and I lost my train of thought. But yeah, we
came in. You were talking about not every some of the cast members were confused about what transportation was open or not, and at the end of the day,
on our way out, that's when we realized we have barely scratched the surface of what there is to do at Epcot.
Yeah.
And we really did a lot of research on the way before we went. We had a list of priority things that we wanted to see in Epcot. We knew that the Food and Wine Festival was happening, so we had some ideas of which booths we wanted to eat, which items at. So I think we tried to streamline it as best we could, but we still didn't have nearly enough time at Epcot. And we, like I said, we only just went on the one ride.
We did. We went on, which I touched that, but I didn't tell them. We went on Frozen Ever After, and we got in line, and it said it was a 45-minute wait, and it was a 30-minute wait. Okay, go ahead.
And she said it was fine. It was going to be like a Small World.
Okay, so I thought it was like a Small World ride, because I've never been on it. We don't have a Frozen Ever After at Disneyland or California Adventure. And I really wanted to go on it because my youngest loves Elsa. So I was like previewing it for them. And I'm like, oh, she's like, this is a water ride. I'm like, yeah, but it's like, it's a Small World. It's like a Small World. It's fine. It'll be fine. Totally not like a Small World.
Yeah, and the first clue was, and I'm like,
wait, no. The first clue was we go to get in it.
Oh, yeah.
And the seats are wet. I'm like, why is my bottom wet? Like, I'm like, oh, it must have just lapped in, like when people were getting in and out. And then, I'm like, yeah, I guess this is more like a Pirates of the Caribbean ride.
You know, without the cannonballs.
Right.
You know what my favorite part of that ride was?
What?
We glued in the dark. We glowed in the dark.
We did glow in the dark because, okay, you know I'm all about matching. And so we wore last year's fashion Halloween top. This year's is orange. Last year's was black and it has like the Mickeys on it, pumpkin Mickeys, and it has candy and stuff, and it has ghosts. Well, anything that was white, we glowed on that. So that was really cute. That was fun.
It was fun.
It was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was a fun ride. And then we saw the one cavalcade of Elsa.
We did see one cavalcade. But why did... Yeah, that's true. She's never seen Frozen. And why did we only see one cavalcade? Do you know why?
Because they aren't doing them as much. And probably because of the weather, I'm going to say.
Right. It was pouring down rain. Was it not?
Yep, on and off.
My gosh.
It was really funny because we both ended up getting sunburned.
Yeah.
However,
we did.
It was thunder, lightning, and pouring down rain the whole day.
The whole day.
So.
But that didn't stop us from eating from every booth.
No, for a while I had my sunburned hat on that our stepmom gave us. And so I was doing this over it to keep the water off the food.
Yeah. And then we ate. Yeah. And I thoroughly enjoyed the different food booths. I have gone to the Wine and Food Festival at California Adventure, but it is nowhere near the size, of course, of Epcot's. And I had a fantastic time. We tried to split as much as we could so we could eat more variety of options. Not more food, but more variety of options. And I think that went well.
I think it went really well.
Yeah.
My favorite thing, though, hands down, was the frozen apple pie drink that I got.
That was the first thing you got, too.
It was delicious, and I thought it was so good. And it tasted like a frozen apple pie. It was so good.
I don't know what my favorite would be. I don't think I was wowed by anything in Epcot, to be honest.
I was disappointed by the food. I was disappointed. I'm not going to lie. I'm really disappointed that they didn't have the goat cheese and onion tart in France.
Yeah, they didn't.
I did like the escargot pastry that I got from there and the little dessert I got from there. I wouldn't get it again, though. I don't think either one of those things.
Yeah.
But that's fine. I tried it once. I got to try all kinds of stuff, and that was fun. I
did like that. I like that we got to try a huge variety of different flavors, different food. I have meat issues, so there was a lot of things that that I was just like, yeah, no, I'm not going to try that. But I tried a lot of the vegetarian options and the drinks. They had some really good drinks. That orange sickle one you had was really good.
Oh yeah, that was good too. It was like an orange sickle milkshakey thing. It was pretty good too.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
But it was a good variety of food, and I like trying the different types and flavors from each of the countries. Because
I think
go ahead.
when we go back to Epcot in the future, while you and the kids are going on Frozen Ever After, I'm going to go shopping in the pavilions because I don't think I did enough.
We did not do enough shopping in the pavilions at all.
Right.
And we literally made it around from United Kingdom to United Kingdom at 7 p.m., which was their close time. Mm-hmm. So we were there from 12 p.m. until 7 p.m. from United Kingdom to United Kingdom. And we did hit almost every food booth or food item we wanted.
That was open.
That was open.
Closed.
Right. There were some on our list that were closed, but we still put it on the list because we didn't know if they were going to be open at that time or if they were going to be closed. And then we did the ride that I wanted to do. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And but the shopping.
We got our only picture.
It is our only picture of the whole trip. And but the shopping, you're right. We definitely did not do enough of that at all. We went into just a couple, right? We did the Norway, we did Japan.
Yeah. And we did, and I think the main reason we did Japan is because thank goodness it was supposed to get out of the weather.
That's true. It was pouring down rain. Oh, we did a Germany store too. We did one at Germany too.
But Germany, we were going in for the caramel corn.
We did, and then it wrapped around into shopping. And that was interesting to see and look at all that stuff. But other than that, I don't think we went into any of the shopping pavilions. And you're right, I would like to do that as well in each of them. But yeah.
So that was Epcot. I mean, I'm glad that we got to go to Epcot.
Oh yeah, me too.
I don't think that next time we go, I don't think I would plan on spending as much time in Epcot.
Oh no, I won't either.
But I think I would, and I wouldn't definitely plan it around a food and wine festival or anything like that. No. I would just plan on going through some of the shops and, like we never even went to Spaceship Earth or the Land Pavilion or any of that.
Oh, and I really wanted to go was the Imagination one where it has Figment because there's a lot of you all and other YouTubers that talk about Figment and I have no concept of who that really is. Because we don't have Figment at Disneyland or California Adventure. And so I really did want to go on that one. But we completely forgot until we were exiting because we were going to the front to exit. And I was like, oh yeah, there's all these rides we wanted to do.
Right. So I would like to spend more time in that area.
Yeah, I agree.
And see what that's about,
Yeah. But the only reason I say I wouldn't do it next time or do it as long, hopefully there's hoppers back when we go again, but is because I have really young children who attention span could not do the shopping pavilions or the food pavilions. They're more still in the kiddie rides, and I don't think that Epcot has a lot of that to offer for me and my family, and that is why I'm saying I wouldn't the next time I go I wouldn't put that as a high priority. Not that,
agreed.
Yeah, because it's a great park. It's just for our next trip and where we're gearing it towards, it doesn't suit our family needs.
Right, because we're gonna have children with us, so it's hard to keep them busy when you're like, hold on, let me go shopping.
Right, and they, right. Okay, anything else about Epcot? Oh, yes, there's one other thing about Epcot, other than I love their bathrooms. Is that I love their bathrooms. They had them like every couple feet.
Yeah,
like
okay,
almost.
Need updating though.
Oh yeah.
Need a
they're
little bit more attention.
Oh yeah, the bathrooms at Disney in general I think need attention. The theming at the resorts bathrooms are fantastic. I think they did a great job at theming their restrooms, but they do all need a little TLC. That's true. Mm-hmm. but I like that they had a lot of bathrooms at Epcot, especially when you're eating a lot. But I did notice, because I am a West Coast Disney parks person, that when 7 o'clock hit, they did not shoo us out. There was nobody shooing us out at all. There was nobody behind us.
Hanging out, waiting for her.
Yeah, she was just sitting. I think we actually left the park at 7:15. Like, started to exit the park at 7:15 p.m. because I used the restroom. She was sitting on a park bench, and there was still nobody. It was like, hey, it's time to go, kind of thing. And I know I've closed the parks down here, and just recently we get shooed out all the time. In January 2020, before everything closed down, we did our Disneyland California Adventure, and we were there for the World of Color show at California Adventure, and it hit 9 p.m. and the cast members were behind us going, time to go, time to go, time to go, time to go, and shooing everybody out. And that normally happens over here. And so I was really surprised, and even mentioned it to my sister that, wow, many times, because it happened the next day too. I was like, I can't believe no one is like in a hurry to get us out of these parks. Like, it's closed. The park is closed, and they're not shooing us out. Like, that would never happen over on the West Coast. They'd be like, move on. So I did mention that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Next, anything else about Epcot?
Nope.
All right, next day, Animal Kingdom.
I think in the future I would really enjoy a full day at Animal Kingdom.
Okay, let's tell them, while we were there, Animal Kingdom was open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Correct? All right.
Yeah, something like that.
And our bad, we made a 9 a.m. reservation at Kona. I think that's the earliest we could get. So we didn't hit the park until 10:30. We were at the park at 10:30.
Yeah, and we got on one ride.
Mm-hmm. Which was?
We had to leave.
Which was? What ride did we do?
The safari.
Right, we went straight to Kilimanjaro Safari. Like, literally got into the park and we went straight there because we want to make sure we got it in. That was like our number one priority ride. Was that one? Yeah, it was our number one priority ride. Yeah. We both wanted to do it.
I hurried ahead while she watched a cavalcade on the river, and then he caught up with me later to get in line because there was it said, I don't remember what they said the wait was. It wasn't too bad, but it was enough time because we needed to meet our ride at noon-ish or somewhere around there at the front, back at the front gate.
12:20. Back at the front gate to get to our lunch reservation. But so we had an hour and a half. I remember we had an hour and a half in the park. And so we beat footed. Okay, so I ran, she walked, because my stride and her stride are completely different.
And just for the record, I didn't ask her to run. I was like, just catch up with me. I'll go save our spot, and you catch up with me. And so then she...
Mm-hmm. And here's a little known fact that you all might not know. I'm taller than her.
She is. Mm-hmm. But I walk to and from work almost every day, so I'm used to walking in a hurry.
And I have short little legs. That's my short little legs.
That's
true. Short little legs. Sure. Mm-hmm. So we went to Kilimanjaro Safari. It was a 20 or 25 minute wait. And I feel like that was very accurate. Like, we didn't did not get on sooner than the 25 minutes.
And I, of course, was stressed out about time already.
Yeah, because she knew that it was a 25 to 30 minute ride. And our time issue. I didn't know how long it was. She did all the research. And so We did get on at like 20 or 25 minutes. Exactly what they said it was, that's when we got on. And it was a 25-minute ride for us.
Yeah,
The
it was
guy,
nice.
yeah.
The animals, the giraffes, and one lion, and
the rhinoceros, hippopotamus.
Oh, yeah.
Or hippopotami. We saw tons of them. Right. The monkeys, alligators, ostrich, zebras, cheetah.
Didn't we see emu there too?
We could have. Saw a lot of animals. It was a lot of animals.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was fun. It was a good ride.
Because of social distancing, we got an entire row by ourselves on the Jeep.
Yes, which is really nice. And they do have partitions, or I guess it's plastic partitions in between every row, so they do fill every row on that one. Yeah. And they do tell you, by the way, because I mentioned that somebody had made a comment that you could take your mask off when it gets going. No, they make a comment and they say leave your mask on the whole time. Remember the driver said, do not take your mask off. That's it for that ride. Okay, and then we went to lunch, and then which we're gonna do the food part later. We went to Senado at Animal Kingdom Lodge, which of course took time out of the park as well, though, because the driving to the lodge and then eating and then getting back to the lodge, and then I want to say we had, what did we have, like a couple hours? We only had a couple hours when we got back. Maybe 2.5 hours. And we went to Navi River. Is what we did. We came back in, went to the Navi River, and they said that was a 45-minute wait. And that was. That's true. That was true. It was. It was a 45-minute wait to get onto the Navi River.
But that Flight of Passage, is that what that was called? Or was that soaring? Or I don't know what that was.
That was Flight of Passage. That was when we walked by that after Navi River. It was a 2-hour wait. And it must have really been a 2-hour wait because both of the rides that we went on was completely accurate. It was 25 minutes or 20 minutes to get on, and then it was 45 minutes to get on the Navi River. And for the Navi River, they also are social distancing we got the boat by ourselves because it's only 2 rows. So we got the whole boat to ourselves on that one. Yeah. It was nice. And that, I guess, was more like a small world.
Yes, that was way more like a small world. And that whole duration of that ride was only like 6 minutes or something.
Yeah, that one was a short ride.
It was very short.
Yeah, very. But it's beautiful. I liked it. Neither of us, and I know a lot of people are probably going to ask or comment on this, but neither of us are Flight of Passage people. I should say we get motion sickness. Both of us do. We don't do roller coasters. We don't do any movement type of rides like Flight of Passage, like Soarin'. Those are not our cup of teas at all. So that is why we didn't do Flight of Passage. There's no fast passes right now, and we're not going to waste the time anyways to do 2 hours. But if you're wondering why we went straight to the safari and not straight to Flight of Passage, that is why. We both knew that we were not doing that ride.
Yeah, there would be no coming back for the rest of the day.
We would both be sick from that, and that's not enjoyable to us. So that's why we didn't do that. But I did want to see Navi River, so that was our second priority ride, wasn't it? Yeah. And it was nice.
For that park. And then we didn't do any other rides. We didn't have time.
No.
I wanted to get a popcorn bucket to bring back to my oldest grandson it's a Halloween refillable popcorn bucket. It's super cute. If you look on their website now, probably, or YouTube, I don't even know how I found it, but
we found it on YouTube. It was a YouTuber.
Some internet something, and it's super cute. It's a Halloween cauldron, and it's purple and black, and it says Happy Halloween on one side and jack-o'-lantern face on the other, and it's got a lid where it lights up as bubbles. And I wanted to take that back to my grandson as a grandma went on a trip gift and stuff it full of goodies. So we spent the afternoon looking for that, and that was a very, very good customer service experience with 2 of the cast members there. They helped us. They walked us to where because
we couldn't find it.
Us and knew that we had no idea what was happening in our world.
Right. We had no idea where we were going. We'd been looking for it. We couldn't find it. It was close, like an hour before the park closed. Some of the carts were already closed and moving on, and we just couldn't find it. So 2 cast members stopped and asked if we needed help, and we're like, yes, this is specifically what we are looking for. And one cast member walked us around until we found it. Yeah, until he's like, I think I know where I can find those. And he walked with us until he found it. And that was amazing.
It's the popcorn stand next to
Everest.
The Mount Expedition.
Expedition.
Is where we found it. And I was so excited to find it that I forgot to tell the gentleman I didn't want popcorn in it.
That's true. Because we were just wanted the bucket. We weren't going to get the popcorn. It was the end of the day. We were going to head to Disney Springs for our reservation. So we didn't want any more food. But we were so excited we found it. And he'd already filled it and gave it to us. That we're like, oh, oops.
Mm-hmm. So I carried it around like this the rest of the day so I didn't spill any of the popcorn. When we got back to the hotel room, I moved the popcorn into a Ziploc baggie that I had brought. And then when I got home after my air flight ride home, I sat on the couch and ate it.
That's funny. That cracks me up. The snack time. Which I got the caramel corn at the Germany pavilion for our snack. And I say our because I actually got 2 bags to bring home to the boys, but I kind of opened one at the airport for a snack.
That's funny. And I got 2 bags. One to bring back to our dad, and one to bring back because my husband and I, after I got back, we're going to go on a week-long trip.
Yep.
So I thought that would be a fun thing to snack on in the car.
Yep. I agree. It was good. It was really good the day we got it.
It was not good by the time we opened ours. It was very soggy.
Yeah, I bet.
And I ended up just throwing the rest of the bag away.
Because she waited 4 days to open it?
Something like that.
4 or 5 days to open it, and I opened it the next day.
Did you hear, did Dad like his?
Yeah, he loved it.
Okay, good.
He ate the whole bag. That's our dad. We got one for our dad because he loves caramel corn. And because they all live in Idaho, Michaela dropped it off for them.
Oh, and that's all we did at Animal Kingdom Park.
Yeah, pretty much. We ate. I had the cheesecake egg roll, and I split it with you.
Yep.
And that, I think it's called Luma or Loompa. It's close to the Flight of Passage, and that was really good. I really like that. I think that's all we ate there.
It was really good. It was a lemon and cream cheese egg roll, and it was
pineapple.
Super yummy.
It was pineapple.
Oh, pineapple.
Yeah.
It was really very yummy.
It was very good.
I would totally have one of those again.
I would too. I would definitely have one of those again. I really enjoyed that. That was good. And I think that's all we ate there in the park. What? And now we're both laughing. I'm like, what? Anyways, and then we exited the park and we went to Disney Springs.
Well, by the way, it is the Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Correct, because there's no bus from Park to Springs. What is the chances of that? And apparently a lot of people were going to Disney Springs after Animal Kingdom Resort. No, Park. It's a park. And so a lot of people got on the Animal Kingdom Lodge bus to go to Disney Springs, like us. We did too. So we were on the second bus to Disney Springs because there were so many people. Yeah. But
we had dinner reservations at Disney Springs.
Disney Springs, we did. We ate at Wine George and Wine Bar George. And I like Wine George better. It sounds better. I'm renaming it. I'm renaming that one. But
okay, you let him know that. You called George.
I will. Yeah, one of the master sommeliers. By the way, I'm renaming your restaurant. Yep. All right, it's time for Disney Springs. All right, our opinion of Disney Springs. I'm cracking my sister up over here. What should we start with Disney Springs? Like, seriously?
You start, and then I'll jump in if needed.
The frustration of Disney Springs, I think, it held a lot of frustration for me. I don't know what specifically was so frustrating about it. I know Disney Springs is similar to our downtown Disney here on the West Coast, but it's a lot bigger. Everything seems to be bigger over there. And there was absolutely no social distancing whatsoever at all.
It was like a zoo.
Right? It was so packed. It was packed at, like, just walking around. There were so many people, right? Did you feel that way?
Yeah, and the lines to get into the stuff, when we went to, like, the little boutique stores or whatever, they made sure that there were only a certain number of people inside the store, but the line outside the store was basically bumper to bumper.
Yeah, and it wasn't the 6 feet.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, and, okay, so that's a good point. The boutiques that we went to while at Disney Springs, they did limit the number of people that were in the shop. That's true. They did monitor that, and they did not let you in until someone exited. But the World of Disney? No!
Good Lord.
Oh my goodness. There was so many people in that store. I felt like it was 2019 where it was packed. They just let anyone come in. And there was a long line. We got into a line to get into the store, but we never actually stopped in the line. We just kept walking and walked right into the store. And it was packed, right?
It was packed. It was overwhelming, the amount of people. It was to the point where there was no calm shopping. It was like, oh my God, I need to get out of here. There's too many people. I'm overwhelmed. It's what I would have expected, and been prepared for at a different time. I did not expect it this time, however, and then I was not prepared for it. And then it was very overwhelming. It was warm because of all of the people.
Oh, yeah,
and
it was.
The cast members were shell-shocked, I think, by it as well. The looks on their faces, I asked one gentleman for assistance, and the look on his face was like sheer panic.
It was. Is that when I wanted a different size in a shirt?
Yes.
Okay, so speaking of that, it took an act of nature to even find a cast member to stop. Like, they were running around like chickens with their heads cut off because there was so many people in there, and I don't think they had enough employees for the amount of people they let in.
No.
Yeah, at all. And so to try to stop one and ask them a question, it was very, very difficult. And then we finally got this poor cast member. We're like, hey, can we ask you a question? And he was like, just stopped. He did, right? He was like, like we scared him.
So bad.
Yeah, right? And we're like, we just want to know if there's any other sizes than what you have out here. He's like, no, what we have out here is what we have. Boom, gone.
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 Out of there.
So true. And the line to wait to purchase the items was really long as well. And because it was so long, it went, it zigzagged, or was that switchbacked? It switched back.
Yeah.
And the actual line area had the markers for every 6 feet, but the line was so long that I went past that, and then that's when people started to bunch up, was past that area, because there was no marker to stand on, and of course we're still used to the herd.
There was even no room left in that part of the store either. Like, I don't know if it got much longer where they were going to put people.
Yeah, that's so true.
Because as it is, they were wrapping around the Halloween merchandise a little bit.
Yeah, and there was a set on each side of the store open, but the line was long for both sides. Absolutely.
Yeah. I think the one that we were on was kind of like a backup, because the other one seemed to have more partitions and
well,
different ways out.
but the way they did it on the other side is they wrapped you through one of the sections as well, one of the Pixar sections. So if you were just shopping and wanted to look at the Pixar merchandise, I'm like, what is it called? Merchandise. Mm-hmm. Like, you would literally have to, like, look through the line of people to see if something you wanted. And hopefully you didn't want it, because how are you going to get it? I know, actually, I picked up something for Pixar for the boys, and it was on one of the switchback parts, and I had to ask a cast member who was monitoring right there to get it for me, because there was no way I was going to be able to get that merchandise.
I just gave up looking in that area because I was just like, there's no way. I just can't do it, so I just moved on.
And there were some areas where I just moved on too, because the crowds were insane. Like, around the Star Wars area, like the high popular things, I would say right now, had so many people around it. I was just like, like, I can get Star Wars merchandise here, but not everybody can, right? So, luckily, I was like, there was other things I wanted more to see. Like, I really wanted to see their Halloween stuff, and they had a pretty good big section for their Halloween. Not what you were thinking. You were thinking the villains part. They didn't have very much of the villains, but the actual big Halloween where it was the orange stuff. You know how
orange Mickey.
Yeah, the orange Mickey. Yeah. They had like a huge big area for orange Mickey and Minnie, but the villains part, I think it was like a tiny little shelf, right? And then there was one.
So sad.
Yeah, it was very sad for the villains. And then it was one little cart, I don't know what it's called, like a display stand of Haunted Mansion.
Yep.
And then they had massive amount, I think, for Nightmare Before Christmas. And I know that's a huge theme for Disney folks in Halloween, but I think our likes for the Halloween part were not represented as much. The Haunted Mansion and the villains, just not very much there for that.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
What else about Disney Springs?
And when we got up to our cash register guy, he was even overwhelmed.
Oh, he was
how he was overwhelmed, and the store was definitely past max capacity for what it was supposed to be at the time.
And for cast member to employee, and cast member to people too. He said they just didn't have enough people for what managers were letting in.
And he also said that through this entire phased reopening, that Disney Springs has been more difficult in the parks because it's less organized, and we found that to be completely true.
Yes.
It's less organized. It's like an outdoor mall, and people were just like coming in and meandering and grouping up and running into other groups. It was just like being in a mall. That's all.
It seriously was. It felt like the parks pre-2020, if I want to say it that way. Like, we were zigzagging in between people when we were walking around. It wasn't, there wasn't any space at all.
Nope, there wasn't.
And the line, okay, so this is part of Disney Springs and transportation, I guess, because it's Disney Springs transportation. The lines set up for the resort buses. First off, how totally random. Squirrel. How can you not have a bus from Disney Springs to the parks? I'm sorry. I don't know how you can't have that. But anyways, the lines were packed there as well, and I don't feel like there was really any spacing or social distancing in the line.
Yeah, I don't believe in
the line for the transportation.
Yeah.
I don't feel like there was anyway. It's a switchback as well, and they used the switchback like a normal switchback. They didn't have it alternating to give that space. Buffer. They didn't do that. Where the parks and I know we already touched on this, but the parks waiting for transportation switchback, they left one area closed off. So it was in every other, I don't know what those are called. Yeah, stalls, I guess.
Rows, I don't know.
Yeah, so on the switchbacks, they left. If it was a switchback motion, which it is for the transportation, they left one of the whole, I don't know how to say that, the whole area is open. But not at Disney Springs. Not at all.
I do understand that it's harder to regulate people at Disney Springs just because it's not set up the same.
Right.
But it just felt like there wasn't any regulation, which is, I mean, we were zigzagging between people too, like you said. So.
Yeah, we were totally zigzagging. It was packed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else about Disney Springs?
Not specifically about Disney Springs.
No, it's pretty big though. I
don't think we touched on like a part of it. I mean, the night we were walking back from the World of Disney to go to the Ganachery, I think we would have seen more if it had been light, but it was so dark because we had gotten
lost.
We didn't know where we were.
She didn't want to say lost. We got lost.
See more at that point, but we were so focused on getting back to the Ganachery before
That's true.
that we didn't really enjoy any of that walk space. But I think I think we didn't see nearly the tip of Disney Springs.
I agree with that. Absolutely. We underestimated our time while there for everything. I mean,
yes,
for everything. We underestimated the time, and we knew we gave ourselves 2 hours in the World of Disney, right? Is that what it's called? World of Disney? And it was chaotic, so we were like tapping out at 2 hours. Excuse me. But if they would have done it differently, we still didn't see the whole store. We could have done more than 2 hours. I think it would have been more than 2 hours if it wasn't so busy.
I don't know that I could have done much more just because it was overwhelming.
Well, that's what I...
place to sit to take a minute.
Well, that's what I meant. Like, we tapped out because it was chaotic. It was... But we didn't see everything. Like, we fully didn't see the Pixar section. We didn't fully see even the men's section. We kind of just skimmed through there. Star Wars section, I didn't really fully see. I mean, there was a lot of sections. I just kind of skimmed because there was so many people. Yeah?
I think I was good. But I also think I was disappointed, and I kind of went in with it.
Yeah.
I was like, the things I was looking for, they didn't necessarily have, and I expected more items, but I don't know. I just expected the store to be bigger. I expected there to be more items from the individual parks as well, not just generic kind of things. I expected it to be different, and I was disappointed by the World of Disney.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Because if it is, that's true, but it is more generic. If in order to get the park stuff, you have to go into that park.
Which next time I'm totally spending enough time shopping at the parks to make myself happy. Yeah,
I do feel like we didn't do enough shopping at all at the parks. Even at Animal Kingdom, we thankfully did do 15-20 minutes at the end.
Oh my gosh, and that was like a marathon to get through there before the park closed and we had to move on to our next thing. So like when I tried on a sweatshirt, I was just like, okay, it doesn't fit, but I don't know because I didn't really put it on all the way. And then I was like, oh, this, I didn't take time to look at it, just left it there. Like there was no leisurely trying to figure out what's going on or take a second look. It was a walk through, scan, out.
That's true. And I definitely, next time we go to Animal Kingdom, I really want to look at those merchandise shops because they had, honestly, I felt like they had better merchandise than World of Disney.
Agreed.
Yeah, I didn't realize also, if we're on that page, that the magic bands were only sold within the park merchandise. I didn't see any magic bands other than the NBA ones at World of Disney.
And we made multiple laps looking for those specifically because we were looking for specific magic bands.
Yes, because I wanted to get specific ones for our next trip for the boys. Because when we were doing this trip, I stalked that site daily to try to get magic bands that I knew that the kids wanted or would like. But the problem is that I would find, okay, so Darth Vader did come up, and I knew that maybe, well, my sister ended up getting Darth Vader, but I knew that my oldest would like that one too, so I put it as his, and then I was looking for a specific one for my youngest, and if one would pop up, then the Darth Vader one was sold out, and then, so you can't reserve one, obviously. You have to get them all at the same time, and the likelihood of being able to get these specific ones for them at the same time just did not happen at all. So my oldest ended up getting the Millennium Falcon, and my youngest just ended up getting a regular blue, just the blue one that you get for free. Well, you used to get for free. I heard that they're going to change that. But so while we were at the parks, or while we were over there, I really wanted to get specific ones to them that we could link to accounts and use anytime. But they didn't have any at the World of Disney. And we ran through a lot of the merchandise at the parks. And they had a huge selection at Animal Kingdom. And I did glance at them. But if I would have known that, you're right, I would have spent a lot more time there.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Also... which I guess I should have realized in Epcot, but we had a dinner reservation that we were getting to. That's another reason why we were leaving the park quickly. But they don't really herd you out. So technically, even though it's closed, I guess we still could have shopped.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, we could have still been looking around at the merchandise, but I think we were in a hurry because we knew... we did not know that there was not a bus from the park to Disney Springs. But we did know we had a reservation we needed to get to at Disney Springs and didn't want to be late. But we had to take the long, as you heard before, the long roundabout way to get to Disney Springs.
Mm-hmm. And we had a dinner reservation. And they had specifically told us the day before, don't be late, get there early.
They asked us to be there 15 minutes early from our reservation. They emailed us and asked us, to remind us we had a reservation and to please show up 15 minutes early. That's correct.
And I have a thing with time. If you want to get me stressed out about something, you give me a deadline.
Me too. I have a time issue as well. Absolutely.
We're getting there early, period.
Yes. Story. Yeah, because we grew up with the saying, if you're early, you're on time. You're on time, you're late, and you're late, we left without you. That's the saying we grew up with, and apparently it's affected both of us.
And my daughter, too.
Because you've taught her that, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Love it. Alrighty. Anything else about the parks or Disney Springs?
No, I think I'm good.
I think so, too. Alright, everyone. This is the close of part 2. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're new here, think about hitting the subscribe button. We'd love to have you part of the family. And stay tuned for a part 3 all about the food. And until next time, bye everyone.